boys and girls. Welcome to another edition of Chicken Bone Alley, brought to you by SRI Performance, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Draco Springs, and Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Also, RK Motorsports Consulting with Randy King, who is the brake man at SRI Performance. But anyway, I'm David.
What's up, y'all? I'm Sterling. I thought we was in the Beverly Hillbillies episode there for a second.
Well, I figure we, eastbound and down,
Yeah, we were north kind of. Well, I don't know. Yesterday we were northbound.
Yesterday, but we got to go back. We got to go back to when we were.
Then we were southbound.
Southbound. So. Well, that's the down part.
Oh, I got you.
We can't really go any farther east, so
pretty close.
It's hard for us to go any farther east. We run into a big pond. Anyway, we just got back from Florida, the Daytona area, I guess we will say, because we was all over the place, and we're going to break up. Typically how we do our shows with, we normally kind of go in the beginning portion, the opening segment, I guess you'll say, and, talk about, little stuff we did with the family and how our week went and all that stuff. And, well, racing was our week this past week with our wives, starring Kayla and Leah.
Yeah,
this week. So we just gonna go kind of chronological order of the whole deal, because we had fun. It was a long trip, but it was a short trip, all in the same.
Yeah, it was good, man. We had a really good time, and
yeah,
it's always fun to go, but it's always good to come home too. Yeah, it is.
I always miss my bed.
Oh yeah, me too, and the kiddos and all that good stuff. So it was good to get going and enjoyed every bit of it. Man, the weather for 98% of the time was awesome.
Yeah.
God, it was good, man. 80 degrees, 78 degrees, whatever. That was nice. Sunny most of the time.
Except in Daytona Beach for some reason. If you got on Daytona Beach, it was foggy.
Well, that one day, yeah, it was really weird. Foggy that morning. It was kind of weird. It was, but all in all,
still nice. Still felt good.
Really good weather compared to what we've been dealing with back here, which is rain and more rain and cold.
Cold rain.
It's
rain and cold.
And that's what stinks about here is it's cold as crap, but it ain't cold enough to snow.
Yeah, so it
don't make sense.
Nasty.
I mean, just go on, be cold and snow if you're going to precipitate. You're going to participate in precipitation.
There you go.
Snow, don't rain.
Be the white kind.
So, but anyway, I don't know, man. We got more rain coming today again, but I don't get it.
We're supposed to have some bad thunderstorms tonight. It said potential tornadic activity because there was a cold front coming in. I said, a cold front? What do you call this inside there now?
Yeah, it makes no sense. I don't know, but anyway, going back to the Sunshine State, where it was, like I said, it was pretty nice most of the time. Yeah, we had a good time, man. Like I said, we left Wednesday night. We met y'all at Lake, and we left from there about, I don't know, 7-ish, somewhere along in there, and trying to jet down to Savannah, make it to Hooters in time before they close, and we made it. We made it. I didn't think they were going to bring us food, but we were there in plenty of time. Well, yeah, they had to service. They didn't service by 10, but we were there by 10. So, but no, it was good. That Hooters just doesn't never do it for me, man. I don't know. It was okay. I think they were about 4-day-old smoked wings,
possibly,
but it's okay. It's still smoked wings.
Smoked wings.
So we got done there and knew we had another roughly 3-hour ride from there to go to Palm Coast.
Well, hold on. It is typically roughly 3 hours. Yep. With our wives,
yeah, it's about like 4.5.
4.5, because they got to stop 17 times.
Yeah.
In a 20-minute span right after we leave the restaurant.
It makes 0 sense. I don't understand it. Don't understand it.
And this is nothing new to them, so it's not breaking news because we talked about it. If y'all followed us this past week, we talked about it on the on our lives that we did. We tried to go live. If you want to go back and look at any of our trip, the parts we caught of it, you can go back on our Facebook. It's all on there.
It drives me insane and they know it drives me insane. I think they do it just because they know it drives me insane. Because you can ask David, when I get in the truck to go, I 9 times out of 10 go to run out of fuel. That's if I got a long distance to go, I don't stop. I do everything we got to do, and I go until I got to stop and get fuel. Then I do everything we got to do, and I go some more. So they don't comprehend that very well, but that's okay. It's all right. They got bladders like a little squirrel or something, I guess. But so yeah, we finally made it to Palm Coast. Finally did. And then come to find out, well, a little before we found out that the hotel check-in thing is closed at 8 or 9 or whatever. They asked David, we going to be there? Nah, where we know.
Probably about 1:30 before we get there, bro.
So we're thinking that the whole place is going to be closed down. We can't even get checked in, but fortunately they kept our key in a lockbox or something, and they made it where we get in there. So that was cool. Cool place. Legacy Resorts, Legacy something Resorts, something.
Yeah, something like that.
Forget the name of it. It's the second time we've stayed at this place during Speedweeks, so really cool place. It's kind of in a retirement community.
Well, it's like little townhouses. Is pretty much what it is.
Yeah, it is.
There's 4 of them on each little block. There's 2 downstairs, 2 upstairs. And they're good size. I mean, 2-bedroom.
Oh, it's
bad.
freaking huge.
I mean, they're real nice.
Big old den, big old kitchen, all that. So, yeah, it's fantastic for us. I mean, and a reasonable price, too. They don't jack them up for race week.
Well, I agree, too, but Kayla said if we go there again, she ain't go.
What happened?
Well, she don't like frogs. And I don't care. I don't mind frogs, but she don't like frogs. She don't want to hear them, nothing. But there's right in the center of this place, all these things are in a big circle around this area. And in the center of it is a big old, I don't know if it's not really a pond. I guess it's more like our little river they kind of dug and run around it. More like a moat, I guess you'd say, inside. There's a lot of frogs. And they make a lot of noise at night.
That's comforting, bud.
It is to me, too. It is to me, too.
Comforting.
But she was recording them and everything else. She was like, "This is awful." I'm like, "Why?"
I reckon she ain't going camping with us then.
She ain't going camping. Who's going camping? I mean, I'll go camping. You'll go camping. I think that's probably the only 2 that would go camping anyway.
Yeah, probably so. Well, I hate that for them because it was a cool place. So we'll bring our gigging poles next time.
Eat some frog legs.
We'll eat some frog legs while we're down there.
What I'm talking about. Good eat.
Yeah, so, but anyway, it was a cool place. Check it out if you're ever down there in that area. It's kind of good because it's out of the way from all the craziness up a little bit.
Yeah, it's not like terribly far away.
Yeah, it's 25-30 minutes from Daytona, so it's not bad. And you can get A1A real quick, go down Flagler Beach and all that. It's real pretty going that way. Yeah. So, yeah, check that out. But anyway, so we got there, got to bed, and I don't know, we slept about, 4 hours maybe.
4 or 5 maybe.
Something like that. We got up, we was ready to go.
We was ready to get the day
started. Yeah. So that was Thursday, so we knew that was our new Smyrna day. Being able to get down and see Derek a little bit. Finally getting to meet them and him and his family and his crew and everybody that came down that we've been hearing about for so long now. So it was really cool to be able to finally put a name with the voice or face or whatever you want to call it.
Oh yeah.
Pretty cool for sure doing that. And he had been coming off of a pretty strong week already before we got down there, so that was pretty neat coming into that and knowing he was already in the points lead at that point. So had a lot to look forward to. Yeah.
Before we get into going to his race there, I'll go back a little bit earlier and just to talk about our trip. And if y'all saw our in the live feeds, you probably saw this. We decided to go down to the Daytona area, Daytona Beach area, a little bit before that, and walk down there. What do you call that thing? A boardwalk, kind of, I guess. We walked down the boardwalk, and this is what I was talking about. It was weird because you could probably only see, I don't know, eighth of a mile each direction, maybe.
If that, yeah, it was really,
and it was really funny because it was just on the beach.
Yeah,
you walk back to the A1A out there, it wasn't foggy at all.
Yeah,
so it was really weird. But anyway, walked down to the pier, and I saw some people with cameras and stuff, and I figured it was some race stuff and going on. But I didn't really think nothing about it. Well, Sterling having a look down, he's like, hey, there's Noah Gregson down there. I'm like, oh, well, cool. Well, we wasn't going to bother them because they were in the middle of, like, they were going to be filming some stuff. And so we get down to the end of the pier, and we're seeing what people's catching as far as fish-wise and all that good stuff. And I pull out the GoPro, and we go live on there and talk to a few people back up the pier and everything, and talking to each other, and Leah's poking birds and stuff like that. And by the time I looked,
so bad that bird would have poked her.
Oh, that would have been so funny. Anyway, so we looked up there, and Noah Gregson has come out there on the pier, and he's talking to people, and they were filming him some, but they'd film a little bit and quit, and film a little bit and quit, and walk around a little while. It didn't look like they were doing anything too serious.
No.
So as he was walking there, I yelled over to him, say, hey, Noah, you got a minute? And he's like, yeah. So he come over there and talked with us a while. Super cool guy. Really seemed pretty cool. And I actually spoke to him after that too, and he spoke again. So
he seems like a very down to earth dude, and he's kind of like I don't know. You see what you get, or you get what you.
Yeah.
I mean, he don't put on no show for nobody. It's him.
24/7.
Sure. Yeah, he's a fun guy for sure. Seems like.
Yeah, definitely does. So that was cool getting to talk to him. And then we kind of, where we go? Sterling decided to we'll throw in some restaurants in there. Sterling's new thing is finding restaurants.
Well, yeah, I guess I did get ahead of myself. I forgot we even did all this. My days were so screwed up from what day we did what. Yeah. So I wanted to try to find. I love fresh seafood, and around here at the inlets around here and all. I mean, you know, there's a lot of good places that got fresh seafood around here where they also have, you know, steaks or chicken or whatever, of course, because my wife won't eat seafood. And David will. He's not crazy about it, but he will eat it and all that. So anyway, I figured if we could find a good seafood place with, you know, fresh meats and all, they'd have something good for everybody to eat. So anyway, I started doing that, and on Thursday, found a place down in New Smyrna in the little inlet or whatever that was called down in there. Outriggers Tiki Bar and Grill, I think it was.
It does not sound like a very high-end place.
But it's a very high-end place.
It's a very high-end place.
But it's very nice. It was awesome. It had a little marina right there. Bunch of boats docked up. Nice. Big old sport fishers and big center consoles and all. So that was pretty neat to see that. Had a little boardwalk there too. Little place you just sit out on the thing and look at the boats coming in and out, and probably look at them unloading fish or whatever and all that. So really neat there. To hang out there and up on a little deal. It was pretty out there today, and had awesome fish. I had mahi tacos. They were awesome.
You know, because that's what you always get is mahi tacos.
But if there's mahi at this place that I'm going, and there's tacos at this place I'm going, yes, I'm probably getting mahi tacos for the most part.
And Kayla does too.
Yeah, I got her turn her on to the mahi tacos. So I feel good. So yes, I did good there.
You did pretty good. None of it looking too appetizing to me. So I got a big old Caesar salad, and it was good. I guess I wasn't a fan of their particular dressing, but it wasn't bad. I mean, it just
didn't have flavor.
It didn't have much flavor to me, but that was all good. And
yeah.
I think Leah got some chicken fingers that time.
Probably.
No. Well, anyway, so yeah, then we left there, and it was time to head over to the track at that point in time, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah, we left there, went straight to New Smyrna. We weren't but like 10, 15 minutes away, so that was cool. First time I'd ever been to New Smyrna at this point.
Yeah.
So, but it wasn't really hard to find. It was right off the little main drag there, and pretty packed when we got there already.
Yeah, we had to park on the grandstand side and then walk all the way around the track to get in on the back stretch, and then had to walk all the way back around to turn 2.
Yeah.
Or turn 4.
Turn 4 to get back
to get back in the infield. Jesus.
Yeah, it was a lot of walking. But we got to see a lot of cool stuff walking
yeah,
there because the pits were packed, and I didn't realize how much out of the racetrack pits they have.
Yeah, I didn't realize that beforehand either.
There was a pile of race cars out there.
A lot. A whole lot of race cars. Whole lot of race cars. Well, we finally got to go down there with our buddy, and we got him calling in today, so let's go to it. Ladies and gentlemen, on the line now, our buddy who is now the 2021 World Series of Asphalt champion and now 2-time champion, Derek Griffith. Derek, what is up, my man?
Oh, not a whole lot. Just got back yesterday and settling out all the stuff I've been missing out on the last 2 weeks. So just trying to get squared away, but good to be home, and also good not to be home because there's snow here.
Well, was it nice to sleep in your bed last night? Because I know just after being down there for 4 days, I was like, man, I'm ready to sleep in my bed.
I couldn't believe it. I was so pumped just to get home, and like, it's so weird when you're gone away from home. Everything like smells different, but you're like, you missed it. You know, it felt good to sit on my couch for a little bit, lay down in my own bed, and you know, I'm very happy to be home. But at the same time, like I said, I do miss the 70-degree mornings a little bit.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, we realized that ourselves quick yesterday when we were coming home. We got up yesterday. What was temperature down there, Sterling?
It was 65 we left, and naturally it was nowhere near as cold as what you guys stepped off the plane to. But, yeah, we got home. It was 41, I think, here. So big difference for sure.
Oh, man. Yeah, no fun. When we got off the plane, I saw snow everywhere. And now they're talking about another 8 inches getting dumped on us. And I'm like, man, I did not miss too much other than cold, sad days.
Well, let's talk about some happy days down in New Smyrna Beach area at New Smyrna Speedway down there. Man, you put it on them again for the second year and showed them how to run for a championship down there, locking up 3 wins this year. Man, let's go back to the first of the week. Tell us, basically how you started off down there.
Night 1 was a little bit of a tough night. We had a wreck, and it tore up the whole right side of the car, knocked the door in, knocked the Nerf bar off, quarter panel off, a whole bunch of stuff. So it started off a little bit messy, I guess is the best way to say it. And I mean, only kind of, and ironically, still finished third. I mean, we still had a really good race car. Just, I knew we had a car that probably could have won. It's just, circumstances beyond our own. And we came back the following day and won the thing. So, I mean, it proved that we had a good race car to start the week off, and kind of started off on the right foot for the most part, but it was still a little hiccup here and there.
Hey,
and then after that, I think we had a really bad finish after that. I think I finished 9th. Stagger was way off, both front and rear. And that was not fun to try to wheel that thing with no stagger. But
is that another just tire deal buying at the track? I know we've talked about that before. How you can just get tires here and there that just are different. I mean, is that one of those deals?
Oh yeah, for sure. It's just, I say it every year. You're due for one bad day, and if your bad day is you get a bad set of tires and have to finish 7th or 9th or something like that, then it's a pretty good bad day instead of getting tore up or wrecked or anything like that. You're due for at least one bad day during Speedweeks. So, if that, like I said, that was pretty much the worst of what we had as far as luck goes was the tire deal, and just circumstantial. Sometimes they'll grow, sometimes they'll shrink, sometimes they'll be exactly where you need them to be. And with running a spool down there, it's so dependent on being spot on with the perfect stagger, and it just was tough. But we just missed that one day, so not bad out of 7 nights.
Not at all. Looking at the track, me and Sterling looked at it a lot. Watched a lot of races. We watched every race down there, actually. What it seemed like you always wanted to start, especially up top. But then if you had to pass somebody, you pretty much had to go to the bottom to pass, but it was extremely hard to pass. What is it about that track that makes it like that?
It's only been like that for like the last year or two, maybe three max. It just slowly lost grip. I don't know. It seems like it gets worse and worse every year. I don't know if it's just wore out. I don't know if it's the tire compounds that they're using, because I know when the modifieds roll around, it's usually that's when stuff starts to get pretty slippery, and there's just no drive up off the bottom of the corner. You're dead sideways trying to get up off, and it really affects how tire wear and everything else. And I know that modified tires changed to a different tire this year and might have made it a little bit worse, but it definitely is affecting how they drive for sure. But I remember coming back here 6 years ago, and they were like, you could get up off the bottom wide open and pass people, and you could run the outside, inside, anywhere you wanted to. Now it's kind of turned into, you got to use a lot of racetrack to be fast, and it's hard to pass. Like you said, you got to kind of get it done in one lap or two, or else you hurt your tires.
Yeah, definitely. We that was kind of I know you knew, but with qualifying, y'all pretty much had that down pat all week. Seemed like every time I looked, y'all were qualifying up front, and unfortunately they had I didn't know it, and me and David kind of learned it during the week, but the draw after the qualifying was, what was it, from 1 through 8 or something like that was a draw? Was that right there?
Yeah, yep, it was 2, 4, 6, 8. So
2, 4, 6, 8. Okay.
Always a good chance of you getting put with a track that's so difficult to pass on. It's what's kind of needed for the fans, or else it kind of would be probably a snooze fest if the fastest guy always started on the pole, and then there wouldn't be too much racing going on, unfortunately.
So What you're saying is it's a Derek Griffith rule. That's what it is. You start on pole every night, just check out and be bored. I know.
Well, I know Thursday night we was checking you out. We stopped at Hooters on the way down, and
Wednesday night, excuse me.
Yeah, Thursday night we were there. Wednesday night, led about the whole thing and had a late caution, and couldn't get fired off there late. But anyway, what did y'all try to gain on throughout the week? What were y'all lacking? Long run, short run speed? Because I know what we saw on Wednesday night's race, where the first 25 laps y'all were gone, and then I had that late caution, and it seemed like you couldn't really fire off as well as you wanted to. So.
Yeah, we worked on it. We had a ton of short run speed, and that was never a problem. The long run stuff got a little bit more difficult. It's just so easy, like I said, to hurt the tires there. So if you get a car that's driving loose and you're driving it, like I always like a loose race car, but it affects how the wear and tear on tires, and it just slows you down quite a bit. So it was more so. We were set up for those 35 lap runs, or the 50 lap run. And I think later in the week, we kind of wanted to dial it back and see what we had for a long run car. We just, changed a couple things here and there throughout the week, but, kept it pretty consistent for the most part. We didn't go throw crazy changes at it or anything like that. We just, stuck with what we knew, and, we weren't chasing bad sets of tires or rubber on the racetrack. We just kind of maintained a pretty, set pace, and just didn't want to get out of our rhythm, and it worked.
Yeah, it definitely did. That's one cool thing that me and David talked about on Thursday night. Was pretty cool. Everybody was thrashing at the race cars after qualifying, and Derek pulls in and plug it up, and that's pretty much it. That was nice. I like to see that. That was cool. Definitely had a good setup there, and was the class of the field.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, when you go out there and start thrashing on stuff and trying to get stuff better than what you know is already good, you can kind of you can dial yourself out. The saying goes, if it's not broke, don't fix it, sort of deal. And we're always trying to find speed. You never want to just settle, but at the same time, you kind of got to find that sweet zone where, like, I know when to tell Louis just to leave it alone, and we'll be good. Versus chasing that extra half tenth or tenth on the board where people are mocking and doing crazy stuff with tires to try to be fast in practice and win practice. It's not worth it. I chase the feel versus the speed, and from there the speed will come after.
Exactly.
Thursday night we were down there with you, fortunately, finally being able to go hang out with you at the racetrack, and while especially while you're running good, but regardless, we're down there with you. Man, that race started, and you had qualified fast time, and then drew 2, fortunately, which, was perfect because that puts you on the outside of the front row, which is probably where you wanted to be anyway. But, man, the first of that race seemed to be a wreck fest for some of them guys, and it seems like, to me, the later it gets in the week, the more impatient some of those guys get. Does it always seem like that to you?
Yeah, it could be that, and I think people just start to get a little antsy. They haven't won a race yet, or they haven't been running as good as they hoped, and they just think it's time to drive the hell out of something and make it there versus work your way there. It's just it's a tough deal. It's a long week to be racing like that, and like I said, there were some of these young gun kids and some of even the older guys that expected to get some wins and kind of expected to do good, and when you don't do good, which is just racing, some people start to get a little they might get a little too worked up, and they just kind of want to get rolling, and it's a lot easier to think you're going to win than actually win. So it's always tough not to be running good. We've all been there and done that, so it's unfortunate, but it's part of racing.
I hear you. Well, moving on there on Thursday night, you were able to bring home your final win there that week. Tell us about your race there.
Oh man, I had to hold off Nassie for 50 laps. It was a tough one, man, for sure. For 35 laps. Sorry. It was just it was a good race. We restarted really well, and to hear half back to the 51 car and from my spotter Dolly and just hear that a little bit. Hey, looking inside, I'm like, you hear all the horror stories of him racing rough, and I gotta say he's always run me really clean and showed a lot of respect for me. So it was cool to run side by side with him for the win, and he ran me with a ton of respect, and it definitely put a little bit of a fire underneath my butt to get rolling there, but for the most part, the car ran really good and drove awesome. I think we had the best car by far for that long run deal after we made those changes for the long run race, because I knew we weren't going to be able to test too much on Saturday because our other deal going on. So I knew we had to get our long run speed in while we could.
Definitely so, and that's funny you say that about Nassie because, like I said, like you said, he's always raced you with respect. But I looked at Sterling in the middle of the race. I said, I do not like him being right there on his quarter.
No, not with 5 or so to go. I was hoping it wasn't going to be the case, but he did. I was very surprised.
Yeah, because we have seen what he's done to Bubba and stuff in the past down at the Snowball and everything else. So it was scary for us there for a little while. So it was awesome to see y'all run side by side like that and have a good race up there.
Yeah, for sure. And like I said, I've raced with him a lot, and I've seen it. I've seen it happen on TV and other stuff. But I've always got the good side of him, and he's always been real good to me, so I can't complain too much at all. Like I said, I've seen other stuff happen, but it's as far as I go, he's been really good to me, so can't complain.
That's good. That's good to earn that respect, and good to have that respect for other drivers out there and be able to race around them like that. So
yeah, it definitely is.
So moving on, we know you went to on Friday. You had a test for your ARCA ride. Saturday, you had the ARCA race. We won't go into that right now. We swing back to that just a little bit. Saturday, they pushed up a lot of stuff because there was a whole lot of rain that morning. Then you got back to New Smyrna over there, and was fast right off the bat again.
Yep. Yeah. Our car just was hooked up, man. I don't know. We had been over at Daytona all day running that deal and just to show up for a practice, and we had old junk tires on, and then I would go out to qualify and set it on the pole again. It was like, oh man, it made the other deal feel a lot better after, or it made the day feel a lot better after the other deal kind of had its incidents, but it felt good to sit on the pole. Unfortunately, we get racing, and I drove it right into the front stretch wall early in the race on the outside of someone and just tore up the race car a little bit. And rookie mistake, as you'd say.
That's right. Yeah.
Derek just saw everybody else do it the rest of the week. He figured he needed to do it too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, right. I didn't have enough damage in the car already. I'm like, I'm going to tear the whole right side off.
Well, Derek, before we go any further, I want to tell you, you and your crew and family, thank y'all very much for the hospitality y'all gave us and took us right in, and that was really cool, and glad to finally get to meet you all, and looking forward to hopefully seeing y'all soon. Maybe Hickory, I don't know. Hopefully that'd be pretty close to us, so definitely ready for that, and see you get some more wins in that late model, man.
Yeah, for sure. And it's our pleasure, for sure. It's always cool meeting people through racing and hanging out and talking. And we've been doing this for quite a while on the podcast deal and everything. I was happy you guys came down and got a chance to get a little taste of Speedweeks too. It's such a cool week, and it's a week we'll never forget, for sure.
That's right. Well, you brought it home ninth again, correct? Saturday night. But the bigger thing in that, you brought home the big trophy for the week. Man, tell us what it means to you to go back-to-back championships at Speedweeks there and at the World Series of Asphalt and the Super Late Model, man, because that's got to be awesome feeling.
Yeah, it feels so cool. I mean, even just to get one of those is such a big deal. I mean, you see the names on the list on that deal, and I mean, you get every big name guy there is kind of has been there and won races and won championships at Speedweeks, and it's cool to see. It'll be really cool to see my name on there twice when people start talking about when the last people that have won championships there and all that. And I mean, even the previous two, they have like Junior Hanley, Pete Orr, and some other guys that are like, Dick Trickle won it 3 or 4 times, I think. I mean, you get people who are some of the most well-known in racing of all kind, never mind just short track racing. So it's cool to hear those names, and my name is kind of go on that list, and I don't think it'll ever really set in, but it's pretty dang cool to get 2 in a row and competing against guys like Wimmer and Donnie Wilson, the big teams that are in for a full-time job sort of deal, as we do this for fun, and it means a lot to do it and do what we do.
That's cool, man. And before we move on from any late model stuff, I want to give you a chance to thank everybody that helped you along the way getting there and everything else.
Yeah, for sure. I got to thank my dad and Louie and Dolly Michelitis. It's funny, we'll go to a racetrack and it's just us 4 usually, and we unload and do our thing and get working on stuff. And back home, there's not too many of us usually working at the racetrack, and I was lucky enough to have a bunch of friends and family want to come down for Speedweeks, get away from the cold and everything. So Ricky and Andrea came down, my girlfriend Emily came down, Cassidy came down, Lindsay came down. There was so many other people. The Preventure family, which they've been one of my sponsors since I was 13 years old. They've carried us into so many races, and it's so cool for that them to come down and witness that too. That meant a lot. And Products has always been on board with us, giving us the best driveline components that we could ask for, and Fury race cars and Robbie White engines, and it, like I said, the list could go on and on and on and on, but I'm lucky to have so much support from everyone for such a small team, and it's just me racing. It's pretty cool.
I hear you, man. That is awesome, and it's awesome to see you do it again down there. And I hope there's many more this year in that super late model. Well, moving on real fast, because there was one more race you were in down there. We got to talk about some. Saturday, you had a ride with Venturini Motorsports, driving the number 55 spot on Toyota down there. Man, that was a good-looking car, and I want to tell you a quick story before we get into it. Mine and Sterling's wives, Kayla and Leah, they don't get in too much of a lot. They will go with us to races, but they don't.
I think he gathered that when he saw it.
Yeah, he figured it. Derek figured that out quick. They just don't get into it. Well, I'm gonna tell you what. They were into it Saturday.
Oh, God. Yes, sir, buddy.
They were into it.
They could relate. They knew somebody on the racetrack, so they were all in, bud. I'm telling you what.
I've never seen them cheer for anybody on a racetrack, but yeah, they were cheering for you every time you come by.
That is so cool.
Yeah,
awesome.
It really was. It really was. And they weren't the only ones, man. I couldn't believe, really. I mean, naturally, the stands weren't packed full by any means, but, dude, there was a pile of people cheering for Derek.
Yeah, every time I heard your name coming over your intercom, all of a sudden there's just people.
Yeah, I was like, good Lord, where are they coming from? So
that's awesome.
That was freaking cool. But before we get into our excitement of it, man, just tell us what it feels like to drive into that racetrack and suit up and get your mind right to get on to get on pit lane there and get in that car, bro.
It's unbelievable. You know, I walked out on pit road and after getting ready, and I just I don't know if you guys even noticed. You might have noticed. I just sat at the car by myself for like 5-10 minutes, just looking up at the stands, like, holy crap, I'm here. You know, like we did it, like almost. You know what I mean? Like we're looking up, and people don't realize how big that the stands are and how big the racetrack is, and I mean, you know, just looking up at something that's so much bigger than just you, and it was cool. It just, you know, I'll never forget any of that for the rest of my life, and I'm hopeful that we'll be able to go back there with something and try to give it another shot, because it's a special week for sure.
It definitely is. Well, speaking of the shot, let's hear about your thoughts about the car and, you know, between practice and qualifying and the race portion of it.
We were good, you know. We qualified with a couple kind of slugs, and with group qualifying, their draft is just so important. And we qualified really good and ended up P6. And you know, we fell back a couple spots there at the beginning on the initial start, and kind of started digging there on the outside, and thing just wanted to go. You know, I had a little bit of help from behind, and I think we were probably one of the only cars to make up a ton of ground on the outside, and you know, leading the pack. It was cool to feel how much the air changed how the other cars drove around me. So I kind of started to use that as, you know, advantage for me. You know, Eddie DeHaan came over the radio and, you know, gave me some lessons while I was racing, and it helped me, you know, roll the outside and finally push Gracie to the lead and on a restart there, and it take the lead after that from her. And man, I thought it was going to be smooth sailing from there, and not one lap later, just kind of ended up into turn 3 getting wrecked. But it you know, we kind of proved a little bit of a point there that it was good to hear, like, you know, Chase Briscoe on the ARCA Menards, you know, broadcast talking about how no one's been able to go to the outside in like 10 years. So it meant a lot to be able to do something like that and kind of prove that you know, we can plate race, and hopefully that'll open up some windows, but we'll see.
Definitely so, man. I was glad we were sitting right in front of the scoring pylon, so as soon as you took the lead, I was just sitting there waiting, because I thought you had to lead a few laps, you know, or scored in the lead. And I was like, no, they still hadn't changed it. And as soon as that 55 went to the top, I was like, I got to get a picture of it. So,
yeah, for sure.
So it was awesome to see. But I'm gonna tell you what, I thought our wives were ready to fight somebody when they saw you go spinning through turn 3.
Great day. The redneck came out in the stand. I was like, Jesus. But no, man, that was, you know, I couldn't imagine that huge high and that huge low all in the same 30 seconds there. I could not imagine that for you. because it was bad enough for me even. But dude, that's amazing to know and to feel. It's got to be that you were able to get up there and drive to the front. Had the car, honestly, I think could have won it for sure. The talent for sure. So again, you have proved yourself again in 20-something laps, whatever it was. That's all it took. So that's pretty freaking cool, man.
Yeah, I was pumped. I think me and Dave Liner worked really well together, and ironically, that was like Venturini's first ever super speedway car. So that car was 15, 20 years old, something like that. And
wow,
it just good. And I kind of picked up on some things a little quicker than I thought I was going to, and they were super happy, and the car was rolling, and just everything worked out. And then it didn't work out, but it was good to have to kind of prove that we sort of belong there, and if not, try to move forward with racing a little more. But who knows, man? It's so tough, and trying to get the funding and everything going has just been a nightmare, and such a hard deal to race against a lot of these people that kind of are self-funded and have the opportunity that I don't. But that's why it's even more of a heartbreaker when you get to racing and you're doing good like that. And it even happened last year at Pensacola, and a couple other places. It's just like you have such a good run and a good car, and just unfortunately circumstances are not in your favor, and just kind of a luck deal more than anything. And I don't really have a lot of shots at this deal, so it's pretty tough to swallow for sure. But it did feel good to lead a lap or two and come out, hopefully showing people that we're a damn good team, and hopefully we can, like I said, move forward with it. But fingers crossed we can get something rolling here.
We're sure hoping so, buddy, because we're ready to get back to the track and watch you lead some more laps. So
that's it.
For sure.
But, man, we know you got some work to do tonight. So, man, we appreciate you coming on here and hanging out with us again, as you have done many times, and hopefully can do many more times here in 2021. But, again, ladies and gentlemen, your 2021 World Series of Asphalt champion, now two-time champion, Derek Griffith. Man, we appreciate it.
Oh, it's my pleasure, boys. Always good talking to you, and I got to get down there sometime. That's what I got to do, see you guys. Now you came and saw me. I got to come see you
That's
guys.
It. Well, come when it's warmer. We'll at least go get in the boat and go ride somewhere in the ocean or something.
Sounds good, man.
All right, man. Well, we will be talking to you.
All right, boys. I appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, Dave.
Man, as like you just said, that's awesome for him to be able to go back to back on championships like that, and first time it's been done in 20 years. Anybody go back to back?
Yeah, that's tough, especially nowadays. And I'm not saying back then wasn't tough, but nowadays it seems like the competition's very tough. And like you said too, for him to basically mom and pop's teams, to be able to go down there and run against these people that's got endless money and can buy rides for all this crazy amount of money and go down there and outrun these boys. That's awesome for sure. But you can't ask for a better person, just all around person and class act to talking to anybody. So anybody listening that want to get into the auto racing industry, you will not find a better ambassador. No, ambassador.
There you go. There you go.
To represent your business at all. You will not find it. Spot on. Kudos to y'all for taking a chance with going on board with him in that ARCA deal. I don't think y'all will by any means be disappointed in what y'all get out of being on his race car. And I hope for sure that there's more races to come this year for Derek, because I really think he can showcase a lot with the talent that he's got and the the good race cars that he's going to be under.
Man, I'm telling you, I mean, that was just like he was just saying. That was one of the oldest cars in their fleet, and man, he did not only Derek's a wheel man. We all know that. I mean, he can drive any and everything you put him in. He can drive, but not only that, he's a good learner, quick. Him and Eddie DeHunt had not really they hadn't worked together up until the race.
Yeah.
And we were sitting there at track, as we said, listening on the scanners, and dialed him up. We were going to listen to him the whole race, and it was, man, you could just tell Eddie knew exactly what needed to happen, and every time Eddie said, do this, that's exactly what Derek did. And it made that car go to the front. But before we get to that, we go back a little bit because we kind of skipping a day now, going in our chronological order.
We were lying when we said chronologically.
Yeah, it's but
we just go however we want to go.
Yeah, we go where we want to go. But we better go back kind of day by day. If not, we're gonna
be screwed up.
We're gonna be all screwed up. All right. So that was Thursday night that we were able to go hang out with Derek. And
we got to get in Victory Lane.
Yeah, we got to get in Victory Lane. We got pictures.
Freaking awesome.
Pictures with us in Victory Lane with Chip and Bone Alley stickers on the car.
On the race car. Derek put them on there when we got there. That was free. That was really cool. And like I said earlier, his family and his team, his dad, everybody, they took us right in, got us up on the hauler, and we watched the race up there. And it was really cool for sure for them to take us in like that. And man, we got to get in Victory Lane. He got a win while we were there. That was really cool. It sure was.
That was awesome. And a friend of mine back here wrote me on there on Facebook. He's like, "Man, I just saw your Victory Lane pictures. You dog." I said, "Well, it's good to know good people."
That's right.
So anyway, moving on. Let's go to Friday. Friday was mine and Sterling's favorite, said sarcastically, day.
Yeah, it was shopping day.
Shopping day.
Well, it was Volusia day too, but it was shopping day.
But it was shopping day.
First,
yeah.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be.
No,
I kind of give up on shopping pretty quick. I was like, well, dang. Cool.
Well, they didn't have but so much to choose from. They didn't like all the stores in Tanger. They had a few they liked, and they wanted to shop. So
yeah.
So we went there, done that, and took a picture. Then went then headed to Dave & Buster's.
Yeah, we did Dave & Buster's. No, we went to Flagler Beach, didn't we? Yeah, that was.
Yeah, we went to Flagler Beach first, and then come back.
Yeah. So I found another restaurant.
Yeah.
It was called the Funky Pelican, I think.
Yep, that was it. Funky. Somebody's restaurants and me. Yeah.
I don't know, but it was at the mouth. It was at the start of the pier.
Yeah,
in Flagler Beach. Another really cool place. Really, really cool the way it was set up and all. Food wasn't as good there, in my opinion. What I had was like a mahi hot dog kind of, because they were teeny. The other ones were way better.
I had a steak. You know what? Nothing else looking very appealing, so I got a steak, and it was
yeah.
Had a good taste, but had a lot of gristle in it, a lot of fat.
Yeah, that'd be so. But anyway, that was all right. Pretty cool place.
Waitress didn't like me for some reason.
Well, I don't know. I think she thought she was funny, and she wasn't at all. And if you're listening, don't try to make fun of people that are sitting there trying to eat.
She was mad because I don't know. When I have a drink at all, I don't just.
Well, it doesn't.
I don't just pour it down my throat while I'm eating, especially.
It ain't that. It's just the fact that whatever you did, it didn't matter. It was your eating. It was you ate your salad first.
Yeah, she got mad because I ate my salad first.
Who does not eat their salad first?
Or she said something because I ate my salad first. So why aren't you eating your hot food first? I'm like, well, why didn't you bring the salad out before you brought the steak out?
I don't know. But anyway, I ain't gonna harp on that. But yeah, that was very, very weird. But anyway. We left there, then we went back to Dave & Buster's, And we lucked up because normally when we go to Dave & Buster's, there's 90 million people there.
Yeah.
But when we get there, it was like maybe 3 o'clock, 2 o'clock, somewhere.
Yeah, somewhere in there.
We were literally us and about 3 other people in this whole place. So it was awesome for us.
We just walked the game.
We had a
There
ball.
wasn't no standing in line for no game.
Zero. I mean, we were racing
Which
everything.
was kind of bad because you could spend a whole lot of them tokens really fast too.
I'm telling you what, man.
They got it going on.
I think they get people because I think a couple of them, you don't pay attention to it. You just swipe your little card. And some of them are like, 4 tokens and 6 tokens.
A lot of
Some
them are
them
like
things-
6.9 tokens. I'm like,
Why not
really?
be 7 or 6? But anyway, we went through 750 tokens in not long at all.
Yeah.
I think they jacking. I think they
Actually, 765 tokens. Yeah.
I think they steal some tokens somewhere. Something going on.
There was
Great
some
day.
stole. There was some stole on the cornhole game. That's where they were stole at.
Oh, I did use a couple of them. I was gonna try to win that daggum thing. That one wasn't right though. The belt was too slow. Too slow.
Too slow.
Can't handle it.
So we watched some. What did we watch? We watched some qualifying and stuff while we were in there.
Yeah, I think truck qualifying was on then.
Yeah, we watched some of that. Then we headed to Volusia. And went and hung out over there in the dirt. And I'm gonna tell you what, the rain scared them the night before because they got caught by the rain the night before, and I think they didn't get done with the show over there till about 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
On Thursday night, Friday night. Good Lord, they got the show on the road, and when they started cars, they didn't stop.
No, I think they started hot laps and stuff. Actually, I think they started like an hour early because we got there
must
early.
have.
It was daylight when we got there. We never got there last year in daylight.
It was still like 5:30 when we got there.
Yeah, so but anyway, they were pretty much doing hot laps when we got there.
Yeah.
And they were already in qualifying because Strickler was in I think Group B,
Yeah.
And we got to talk to him right before he went out. Or right after he went out.
Right after he come in, yeah.
But anyway, yeah, they got the show on the road. They moved it along. It was the World of Outlaws late models there and the Big Block Modifieds.
Big Block Northeast Modifieds.
So there was a good crowd of cars there, but I was kind of surprised. There wasn't nowhere near the spectators, the fans.
No, I think a lot of people is just still scared with this. And there's so many states that are regulated so differently that they don't. If you're from out of state, I guess you just don't know what's going to happen down there because, just like us, you go to Daytona and it looks like the place is empty because they sell 4 seats. You're the only people in the whole row.
Yeah.
And then you go to Volusia, there ain't really no limit for nothing over there.
No. Uh-huh.
You go to New Smyrna, whatever, just go. But they don't know that. All they see is big stuff like Daytona, and it's like, oh, they're gonna limit how many people's going in there. So I don't want to go all that way. And I understand it. I understand it.
I guess,
but it sucks for. I mean, I don't know. So, but our buddy Derek McGrew Jr. We got so many Dereks.
A lot of Dereks.
Yeah, Derek McGrew Jr. was down there racing. Go back through his week real quick. Early in the week, they was gonna run all week on in the Big Block Modified down there. And first night 1, he had some issues. He was running good, running mid pack, and coming up through there, and he jumped the cushion and rolled the car down in 1. And from then on, he kind of had a tough go at it. I mean, he still looked okay. Finished in the teens pretty much every night. But the frame is being on the car, they said. So it's hard to get it back perfect when the frame's bent.
Oh, yeah, definitely. Unfortunately, they were able to get it put back together. And not ruin their whole Speedweeks.
Right, and just get some experience down there. They knew that's kind of what it was going to be. It was his first go-round with the big blocks, getting some experience with the best of the best in the big blocks down there. And if you be watching on our social medias and YouTube and everything, they let us put a camera in their car too, again. And got some pretty good footage from what I saw. Lost the last couple laps, couldn't do the mud, but there's only a few laps there. So I'll be putting up some stuff here soon from his race. He didn't qualify too great. Had some issues actually in the heat race. Went to hit the gas and it just cut off on him. And I talked to him. He said he didn't know what was going on. So fired it back up. Started. It turned over a few times and finally fired back up. Went to take off. Kind of did the same thing. So he pulled it back down the pits, hit the gas again or hit the starter again, and it did the same thing again. So that was in the heat race. Well, it finally took off. Finally took off and ran, but it just put him in the back. It was too far behind, and so they ran the World Outlaws feature first in this one.
Yeah, literally like 7:30 they were running the main.
Oh yeah, it was
Jesus.
It was quick, especially for a Friday night.
Yeah.
Like we said, we talked to our buddy Kyle Strickler down there, and he was running good. Set fast time in. Wasn't it fast time? Yeah, he set fast time in his group.
Who did?
Was it Strickler?
Strickler, he was
second fastest in his group. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I can't remember who was first, but I know Bobby Pierce was overall.
Yeah, Bobby Pierce was overall fastest. But we talked with Strickler, and there were some announcements came out with him this past week while we were down there. And one of them we didn't even really know that we kind of already going because I just kept watching highlights and everything. And something I'm kind of glad to see for him. He's always run really good, I guess just because that's what he's been in for years, in the Longhorns. Well, when he went to PCC Motorsports, they had Rockets, the XR1s. Him and Vinny, Kyle and Vinny worked on them cars numerous races through the first part of the Lucas Tour there. Just could not make no headway with him. He said it just never felt right to him. Just didn't have the feeling he wanted. So he pulled his car back out, put the PCC wrap on it, and is running Longhorn right now and got a couple more on order.
Yeah, that's awesome. I know he fooled the crap out of us because I looked and I seen where he won, and
Yeah.
it was the PCC wrap. I was like, what?
The white car, yeah.
So David messaged him. He messaged back and said, that's the Longhorn.
Yeah, I messaged him. I'm like, hey, that's a way to finally get that rocket running. He said, no, we switched to Longhorn. Oh, okay.
Yeah, so I think that, they gave it a shot and they could not figure him out. They just weren't to his liking or his driving style.
Yeah.
I mean we know they're good cars. They'll sell them probably no problem, but
oh yeah.
And somebody else could be able to react to them just fine. But it's cool to have to know they're going to be able to. The PCC is on board enough to invest that much more money to get Strickler rolling because those rockets sure wasn't working.
Nope, not for him. So anyway, they got in. Well, Sterling touched on Bobby Pierce setting overall fast time. Well, he got in his heat and ran really good. Kind of checked out in it. All of a sudden, the last lap or so, I looked and you could see a little bit of smoke coming out the car. Well, he took even an extra lap. I don't know if it trying to cool the car down or something, but it was just, you could tell he still had the motor revved up, but it wasn't going real fast. And he pulls in the pits, and they snatched the hood off of it. Apparently, something had happened, and it was just motor was shot. So they tried to change motors before the feature, but like we were saying, they moved along so fast they had zero time to put a motor in it. So he ended up jumping in somebody else's car that didn't make the main just to get start money. Big sexy Brandon Overton dominated the main. I mean, just took off and dominated. There wasn't no touching. There wasn't no cautions until about maybe 10 laps ago.
Yeah, it was pretty late. It stretched out. It really did pretty quick. And the top, I thought the top would come in sooner than it did, but it really took a while for the top to come in. And once it did, they were so stretched out. Strickler couldn't really get going, couldn't make up much ground there. So when I saw that caution, I was like, okay, maybe he'll have something for him. But I think he made up another spot or so there. But
he ended up finishing sixth.
Sixth, I believe, yeah. But I don't think anybody. Devin Moran was fast after that restart, but he didn't have anything for Brandon Overton.
Not for Brandon Overton. Brandon Overton's funny, especially really since he's been in that ride with that Longhorn there. When they hit on it, they don't just kind of hit on it to be, up competing and with a chance for the win. No, they don't do that. When they hit on it, all of a sudden they are checked out. So,
yeah.
So that was cool to see him get him a win. Like I said, our buddy Kyle Strickler finished sixth. I ain't got all the rundown here with me, but
he is the points leader.
That's what I was going to say. Now he is the points leader of World Outlaws, and that was the other announcement to come out. They switched. They originally planned on running the Lucas Tour, but I would assume just because he had such bad luck in, Florida month down there, they were in a big hole in Lucas. And so he was actually already in the points lead for World Outlaws because of winning at Volusia that first race back in January. Come back for this week, won again, finished decent every night, and walked away with the points lead still in the World Outlaws. So they made the switch and committed to the World Outlaws.
Yeah, I like to see him do well wherever he goes, but hopefully, it may not be, but it really kind of seems like the World of Outlaws is not quite of a rigorous schedule and season. Maybe it is.
I got a feeling we're still he's
gonna run some Lucas stuff.
That's what I was going to say. He's still going to jump. If there's a Lucas race here that paying decent, that and there ain't no World Outlaw race, all right, yeah, we're going to it.
Yeah, I think so. But it kind of seems like the competition is a little bit tougher on a regular basis in the Lucas Oil Series. World of Outlaws has kind of fell off a good bit here in the last couple of years. It don't sound like they pay the money as much as Lucas Oil.
That's the difference. Is Lucas seems to pay a little bit more money per race. It seems like. I don't know. It's I guess it's kind of a toss up to some extent. As far as you travel, where you got to travel to, how much you gonna spend on travel and stuff. So I don't know. Them boys, they figured it out. So he got I do recall I saw just a little while ago. Kyle's in the lead, and actually showing Kyle Bronson in second place. He's not going to run
He's not running full season.
Not World Outlaws. He runs Lucas.
Oh, okay.
Well, he's ran for the past quite a while, so I'm assuming that's what he's running again. Ricky is in third. I want to say third or fourth. I can't remember.
Okay.
But anyway, he was the first guy behind Kyle Strickler. That will be a series regular. So,
well, it'll be interesting to see.
And in Bloomquist, he just had he was running right there with Kyle in the race.
Yeah, blew a motor or something.
Broke motor. I kind of motioned to him when he come in. I said, "You break it?" He said, "Yep." So I'm assuming motor broke in it because it just all of a sudden quit running. And he was running
fifth or sixth.
Yeah, him and Kyle was side by. He was running bottom. Strickler was running top. They were side by side almost the whole race.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
So-
one thing I will say about Volusia, this new dirt, new surface they put down, I think made for a lot better racing. It did spread them out a little bit more. It wasn't just solely dead in the bottom. It made for, where they could move around some. So that was cool. Slicked off more,
Yeah.
a lot more, but it was throughout the whole track. It made it racy, a lot more racy, I think. So kudos to them too for doing that and getting that better. And Saturday they called it for rain. That was
Early.
the last night. Yeah, I think they were tired. They're ready to go home.
I think they had fought it, a couple times, and then they was like, nope, done. So, and I understood it because our buddies, Derek McGrew and them, they got their truck stuck trying to get out of there. So if it did rain anymore, they were gonna have big problems on their hands with some of the trailers there. So, but going back real fast, our buddy Derek McGrew Jr. In the main had kind of a tough main. He started, like we said, he has problems in the heat race, and that track, once it slicked off for the late models,
yeah, there was no bite.
There was no bite in that track, so everybody was trying to get around the bottom, and there was nowhere to pass, nowhere really to do anything. It was kind of a follow the leader deal. But like I said, he did have an onboard camera of ours on there, so we'll be getting that footage up here real soon to be on, just to see what it's like riding on board with a big block modified, because we don't. I've seen more of those type modifieds in the past month than I've seen other than at Volusia.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. So it's cool to hang out with them guys. Also, real fast, be sure to go check out Derek McGrew Jr.'s page on Facebook. I think I got one on Twitter also, maybe Instagram too. Man, they're a team, and they talked to us. Derek Sr. really talked to us about how they run their stuff, and he's got it planned out. And I mean, he'll tell you they're in for the long term. There is no plan B. Is what he'll tell you. There is no plan B. This is plan, and he'll tell you what he has to do to get them to the track to make it happen. So go on there if you can, guys. If you got a bit, that's another one. If you got a small business, especially if you not the big business that wants to get on Derek Griffith's possible ARCA ride. If you want a small business to get on Derek McGrew Jr.'s modified ride, get in touch with him, because they
yeah, definitely.
It's a cool deal. It's cool to see a young up and coming driver like that. He's 13 years old still, driving a big block modified.
Crazy. And
running competitively. I mean, it's insane, but he is a good kid, got a good family, got good support around him. Nice people. I mean, you just can't.
Yeah, very, very nice.
And always remember to race life for real. You see some of our posts up on social media, and go buy some of that stuff. That stuff's really cool.
Yeah, that helps them out, helps them get to some tracks. So
yeah, it helps them and helps other people actually. Also,
yeah.
they're helping other people get to tracks when they're trying to get to the track themselves. So
yeah, it's awesome.
That's a good deal. So anyway, that moves us on to Saturday.
Yep, the final day of our racing
racecation.
And I'm gonna tell you what, it looked very disheartening when I woke up and looked out of the blinds Saturday morning. About 7:30, I guess I got up out of bed and looked, and it was pouring down rain, nasty looking. No cloud. I mean, no sun, nowhere. It didn't look good.
No, it
didn't look good at all.
It looked rough.
So I started looking. Then I started looking at the radar a little bit and looking at. I got some fishing apps that I use for fishing, and it's basically for offshore stuff. But being that we're right here, we were right on the shore.
On the shore.
I was like, shoot, I'm gonna try and see, and it's pretty much accurate normally. Well, I say a lot. It's normally a lot more accurate than Weather Channel app or whatever. But anyway, So it said it was pretty much going to rain nonstop till about 12 o'clock. And it did. 100%. 100%.
Whether it was light rain or hard rain, it rained.
It was nasty. So, the race supposed to start at 1:30, 2 o'clock. So, we got ready and we went a long way. We went through Flagler Beach and took A1A all the way down around. Taking our time.
Stopped and got a cookie.
Yeah, something got a cardboard cookie. So we went up and decided we were going to go to Bass Pro, which is right across the street. Everybody hadn't been to Daytona. It's right across the street there. Pretty nice place. Little 2-story deal. Got all kind of stuff in it. But
Kayla needed her rain jacket.
A rain jacket. And by the time she got her rain jacket, it quit raining.
It was sunny.
But she had to have one anyway, so whatever. But so pretty much 12 o'clock, 11:30, 11:45, it was drizzling a little bit, but it was done by 12. Yeah. And I saw where it looked like it was gonna in Daytona, it was gonna start back raining about 6 o'clock. Well, so I felt like we were good. So they got out there, they drive the track, did one heck of a job. They had it ready to go pretty much at 2 o'clock. And got out there and did the whole deal with watching Derek, and didn't last very long, not as we wanted it to. But.
Well, one thing I want to go back to real fast, just for anybody going to a track this year, to a NASCAR race or anything, just FYI, if you don't know, Racing Electronics, their stuff has changed a good bit. At least as of right now, you don't just walk up and supposedly you don't just walk up and rent a radio. You're supposed to order online, and then you can walk up and get the radio that you ordered online and all this stuff. Well, we didn't want to rent anything because we always got our own headsets and stuff like that, just because we like ours better. And we typically have our, push talk little buttons. We can talk back and forth to each other, but this one, we just brought our little earbuds. But they're not programming the scanners at the track now. They will give you a program. They will sell you a $10 or $20 or whatever it is program sheet with all the channels on it, but they are not programming them. So what they do have, though, and because me and Sterling go to enough races and we like to have them, they have a new radio out. It was the RE3000, Racing Electronic 3000. It has, and this may be old, I don't know, but I do know it's new to me, over-the-air programming. You literally turn it on, hit program, it starts programming to every channel that's at the track for every series. I know as far as ARCA, Truck, Xfinity, and Cup. So, we got a new scanner.
Yeah. Well, I had a nice one, and it was good, and it still is good.
It has served its purpose for many years too.
But they found out that we're selling these scanners, and we're selling the frequencies for whatever it was, $10 a year.
Yeah, we're
not making no more money. Okay, so let's make that where you can't do it no more.
That's exactly it.
So it's really cool to have that over-the-air programming. That'll last good for a few years until they realize they're not making any money
when everybody gets them.
And then they'll do something different. But it was really cool, really nice scanner. Works really good.
It's really loud, FYI.
Yeah, it is very loud. Those headphones we got ain't the cheap ones either.
No, they're not.
They're the kind that they actually run into cars. A lot of them, some of them.
Got the semi-custom molded earbuds.
So those work really good. If anybody looking for them, they work really good. I think they were like $180 from Racing Electronics. I think we got them from there.
Yeah. We got them at Darlington a couple years ago.
Yep. So anyway, go ahead.
No, that was my story there. So we watched Derek do that. We talked about it with him earlier. We did finish out watching the race. We didn't really even know if we wanted to finish out watching the race.
I was like, let's go. I'm ready to go. I'm tired. I was just aggravated.
So,
but
we did stay. And watched. What was his name? Corey Haim. Yeah, Corey Haim won. Just saying, I ain't throwing nobody out there. You know, Derek talked about Gracie Trotter. He pushed her to the front. Well, she ended up at the back. She got in a couple more accidents.
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'm not bashing her.
No.
I'm just saying that, you know, I really think, I don't know if it was her spotter pushing her or if it was just her not really thinking what she's doing in the middle of the corner. But very disheartening. Derek probably, you know, he probably wants to say more, but we can say more, so I'm gonna say more. You know, it just felt like to me like, you know, she just got put in this position, got thrown in this position because of who she is or
sponsor dollars,
whatever. Just got thrown up there. Here she is in the jam up car, and that's awesome. And you know, nothing wrong with that. But the problem that I have with it is that goes to show you right there that talent is not what they look for.
Well, my problem is with it, and to that point, is I've seen her in some small races,
right?
Late model races, late model stock mostly, and she runs good. She's won quite a few late model stock races. She won a ARCA West Series race last year. Now, a lot of people will argue with you on that and say, well, it was an ARCA West Series. ARCA West isn't near as tough as ARCA East or definitely not ARCA National. But I ain't going to get into that. She won it. I mean, whatever it was, she was the best car that day. She won it. I think she has talent, but you don't see her over there at, say, New Smyrna with the best of the best running on those type tracks and you know, really honing in racing skills, racing side by close quarter racing. You don't see her doing a whole lot of that with the crowds that are considered to be the best of the best.
Yeah, well, I mean, I've seen her actually run, I think, 3 races. I saw her over here at Timmins or Florence, Myrtle Beach one time, and now at Daytona. And she has not impressed me really from any time I've seen her. Now, whatever, and I'm not just saying that because she wrecked Derek.
No, yeah. We talked about that last time when we saw her at Florence.
Just watching her overall, I don't see where, you know, she's all that in the bag of potato chips. Can people market her well? Can people want to market her? Does Toyota want her to be their Haley Deegan? Maybe. I don't know.
I don't think it's going to happen.
That's what I'm saying. I don't think that's going to happen.
happen.
But I just really hate that it happened, how it happened, because, and the reason I was getting all that was, you know, maybe I'm completely wrong, but this is what I think, and this is our perspective. This is what I think. I know what Derek had to do to a small extent. I had to go out and hunt.
Oh, yeah.
And bust his tail to get funding for that race at Daytona. And I also know what he does to bust his tail to run his late model team. What all he does, he goes in the race car shop. They all work on it. He don't just show up and sit on a 4-wheeler and text back and forth with Joe Blow while everybody else is busting their tail. And, you know, I see what all he did to do that and how what all was involved and how much effort was involved in getting to Daytona to make something happen there. And, you know, I just don't, I really feel like that, you know, okay, I got money, here's it is. I throw it out there. I can get all the sponsorship I need. I can just throw money around, and that's how I got to where I'm at. That's what upsets me the most. And, you know, but it is what it is. It's part of it. It's just how this industry is going, I guess. Because because, in my honest opinion, and I mean, I'm not just saying this because I know Derek, because I don't know him that well, but I know from what I've seen of him and talked to him over this past year and his talent level, they don't put you in cars for talent no more. I don't think. They put you in cars for money. And if you got money to throw, then you're in the car. One guy, I don't remember his name now, but he raised money from being a pizza delivery guy to get him ride in an ARCA car.
He saved every dollar for I forgot how many years.
Yeah, so I mean, it's just
from his pizza delivery tips.
I mean, anybody can do it, I guess, if you have the money to do it. I guess I could. I guess I could go say, Venturini, I got, $200,000 and
put me in the car.
Whatever sponsor I want to put on there. I can put me with a cougar in front of it if I want to, I guess. But
was it Twinkie? Was it Twinkies on the windshield? Whatever it was.
Something. But and then then you go out there and then you take someone like Derek or like David or whoever that's gave forth all the effort, busted their tail to try to make ends meet to get to this point, then take and ruin their day like that. Man, it's just sucks. It really does. But like we said earlier, freaking cool that he was able to get up there and lead a couple laps and prove to everybody he could get up there. And Spot On was spot on by picking Derek to get on the car.
That's right. So not just because we know him, but just saying, if Spot On happens to hear this, we, along with a lot of fans out here who listen to this show and way more than even that, really appreciate y'all, first of all, for coming on board with Derek and putting him in there for a couple races. But like we, said, we think he's a really good brand ambassador. And,
that word.
Yeah, that word. And I had no clue what Spot On was, honestly, before Derek Griffith decided to, run them on his number 55 Toyota in the ARCA series. And now I know exactly what Spot On is. And I follow them on social media, and there's a lot more people who jumped on, which means there's a lot of business owners who could use their product. And so, just saying, if y'all decide y'all want to stick him in a few more races, we're not against it.
No, we're definitely not against it
at all. So we were gonna stick around because our ticket that we had to get for it actually wasn't just an ARCA ticket; it was ARCA and Xfinity. And we were gonna stick around to watch the green flag in Xfinity, but it actually started drizzling rain almost as soon as the checker flag dropped for the ARCA race. And we were like, nope, if it starts raining, we don't want to get stuck in it.
Yeah, because we had quite a walk to get to the truck, so we didn't want to be stuck in that for sure.
Yeah, so we took off. Fortunately, it didn't rain then. I mean, it drizzled some, but it didn't rain. So we got back to truck. And it was time to go get some more foods.
I had to pick me another spot.
Sterling had to pick another spot, but we did not stay and watch the Xfinity race. But we watched it on TV and kept up with it.
Yeah, definitely.
Somewhat.
Kind of, sort of, where we could see it.
I don't know what your wife is cooking downstairs, but I'm going to tell you, I just got some smells of it.
Oh, good.
Lord, it smells good.
That's that barbecue chicken.
Is that what it is?
Kush, that's what that's called. Yeah, good, bro. Yeah, good. It's only $7.95 a plate, but I'll hook you up.
Yeah, I might put some on my tab.
So anyway, so we ducked out and like got in the truck, and as I've been doing the whole weekend, I started looking for some places to eat, and come across this place. I wanted to be in the inlet again, of course, so I was trying to find somewhere decently close to Daytona. So I ended up finding a place called Off the Hook at Inlet. What is it called? At Inlet Harbor. Off the Hook at Inlet Harbor.
in the middle of nowhere, kind of. I mean, it's not in the middle of nowhere, but it seems like you ride forever.
Well, you go over the river or whatever they call it down there, and it says last road exiting back to mainland.
Yeah.
Okay, so we went like 10 more miles past that. So we were way out there in this inlet, and a lot of houses. It's not really tourist town by any means.
No. It was funny because the houses in this 10-mile stretch. The houses kind of went from pretty nice to all of a sudden like not so nice area, and all of a sudden just gradually you pass this park, and after that park, all of a sudden, boom, there's some huge houses. Yeah,
very, very large for sure. And it turns down in this teeny little road, just grew up looking and all, and then boom, there's this place is. And really awesome place. Anybody's around the Daytona area, go check out Off the Hook. Really cool little bar and grill and have live music there. I'm not sure how often, but they had it on Saturday night for sure. Really cool place. And what made it even cooler was we were parking, and I jumped in the back of the truck, changed my shoes, and David turns around and he says, "That looks a lot like Alex Bowman." And I look back, and he was over there probably 40, 50 yards from us. He was over there a good ways. I said, "Yeah, it really does. That really does look like Alex Bowman."
Really looks like
But,
Alex.
he was walking with somebody and all that. We go in there. We get our seat, tell them we want to sit outside. Or we get out there and we sit down, and sunset behind us, real pretty and all. And I happen to turn around and look, and they got this big old table to our right, like 10 seats sitting at it.
Yeah, and it's the table next to us, technically. I mean, there was a gap between us, but there was no tables in between us.
So I turned around and looked, and I said, I looked back at David. I said, David was looking the other way or whatever. I said, "David, that definitely was Alex Bowman, because that is him sitting right there."
Right there.
So, all the rest of his crew or road crew or whatever it was, they came and sat down and ate dinner with them. So that was pretty neat for him to be able to do that. Pole sitter for Daytona 500 was sitting right there eating with us.
Yeah, it was really funny, too, because apparently this restaurant isn't, like Sterling said, it's not a tourist destination. So the normal, because we're not normal at all for some reason, but the normal race fan who's going to stick around Daytona don't find this place.
Oh, no. Definitely
so
not.
Apparently that's probably why they go there, is kind of get away from
and
the
I don't
race
think,
crowd.
I mean, there was a pile of people there. I didn't see the first person say anything to him by any means. I don't think nobody realized who it was.
No, I really don't. And we actually had the race on at the bar there, but I mean, the Xfinity race on, but it didn't seem like that was their deal there. And yeah, like you said, I'm pretty sure we're about the only people who recognize him.
Yeah, definitely so. So that was pretty neat. Like I said, for him to be able to do that and hang out, and right there where we were at. But the coolest thing about the whole deal, we get there and we sit down, and the waitress comes up and tells us the specials. And the specials, where normally restaurant specials are like 2 or 3 things, whatever. But she tells us like 30 things. And the last thing of the day, or last thing that she told us, was the catch of the day. And a lot of seafood places around the inlets and stuff around here anyway normally have one catch of the day.
Yeah.
Well, they had grouper, mahi, and golden tile.
Ooh.
And let me tell y'all something. If y'all ever go anywhere, which you probably won't find many places around here that offer a fresh catch of the day as being golden tile, but if y'all find it, get it.
Get it.
We were able to, we went offshore fishing with my cousin Alan and the First Strike fishing charters. We went out there and we were going to go out there and try to catch a snowy grouper. And we looked up on one, got us one. And we also looked up on, in 700 foot of water, probably a 40 pounder or so, 45 pound golden tile.
And we didn't even know what it was beginning because Alan's just out there freaking out.
Alan's up there screaming and freaking out. He'd been wanting to catch one of these fish for a long time. He finally caught him one.
I had never heard of a golden tile before this.
I have not either, but it is awesome meat. It tastes like, kind of tastes like lobster and crab legs
And shrimp.
and shrimp. Yeah, it's weird. It's not a fish.
It's a little bit sweeter. It's a little bit sweeter, but it's not overly sweet.
No. It's awesome.
But it is way far from anything everybody would think fish taste.
It's not have a fish taste at all. It's definitely by far the best tasting fish I've ever tasted, put it that way.
Oh, yes. I agree.
100%.
I agree. I mean, flaky, good Lord.
And it is not cheap either. I'm just going to let y'all
No,
know that.
it's not cheap.
It is not cheap.
It is not cheap.
It's not cheap at all. So, but anyway, we splurged and got that really good.
Which it was probably cheaper. I don't know if it was as fun, but it's cheaper buying it at the restaurant than it was us going offshore and catching it.
Oh, most definitely. Most definitely cheaper. Yeah, it was cheaper to drive to Daytona and go eat at this place and drive back to the Florence than going up. But it was not as much fun. No. Definitely not. But
I'm gonna tell you what, I found out they really have fresh catch of the day there.
They definitely do. Definitely do. Because dude brought out I'm probably guess 30 pound,
At least
40, 50
yeah,
pound
30, 40. Yeah.
grouper. Looked like a black, maybe black. I don't know what it was exactly. I couldn't see it that well. But brought a full grouper right off the boat to Alex Bowman's table.
Showing it to them, showing it to anybody else. Tell them, hey, y'all want this? y'all want a piece?
This is a fresh catch of the day. 100%. That wasn't even froze.
No. Hey, they pulled that thing up and drove in.
That was awesome, though. Really, really neat place. Like I said, real pretty place. Live music, pretty neat too. So, anybody around there, go check out Off the Hook.
And some gigantic boats sitting around it. Some real nice boats.
Yeah, very, very nice. Sport fishers and all kinds of
there
stuff.
Was one of the
there.
widest sport fishers we had ever seen in our lives.
Couldn't tell what it was. I think it was a Viking. I ain't sure.
I wish it was a Viking too. They had it covered. They had a half cover on it, like the whole back of it had a big cover over it. But that thing had to have a 20-foot beam on it.
Oh yeah, 100%. It was humongous. Very, very nice. So so that was our kind of our splurge there. So we left from there, and we had some more tokens left on our
Dave and Buster's
card. Yeah, so we went back, and we were not so lucky this time as having 3 people there.
Well, it was Saturday night.
It was packed out. Good Lord.
I've really begun to think, though, that Dave and Buster's is more for adults than it is for kids.
Oh, yeah.
Because, don't get me wrong, there's some kids around there.
No, I mean.
But it's got a lot of, at least there, and even at Myrtle Beach, a lot of the games that are in there are games that we grew up with at the arcade. I mean, there's modern versions of them, but they still got Daytona USA. They still got Cruising USA. They're obviously the old ski balls and stuff. I think they need more ski ball things, but
I think they need a bigger one.
Well, I remember the old time, like we went to like Garden City Pier.
Yeah,
I don't know if they still
balls.
do. Yeah, do they still have the whole wall full of ski ball on there?
So. Those were big ones
doubt
too.
they
I
do
like
either.
those.
Yeah. So that's, but I understand why they don't. But there's a lot of modern versions of older games in there. So
yeah.
A lot of adults, like us, get stuck in it.
Exactly. So we ended up having a good time there. We spent probably, I don't know, $130
in tokens.
$130 in tokens for about literally $10 worth of junk from the little store for the youngins.
Yes.
That wasn't very smart, but we had a good time doing it.
And some candy for Leah and Kayla.
Oh, God. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah, it was. So that wrapped up our trip down there. We went back, got some sleep, got up Sunday morning, and headed back to the frigid, rain-soaked South Carolina.
Yeah, we stopped up the road. I don't know. We wasn't far up the road, probably 20 miles or so, and got fuel. And it was like, it already feels like it's cooling down just a little bit. I mean, just 20 miles up the road.
Yeah, it dropped off quick.
We got back in the truck, and we didn't get out the truck again until we were in South Carolina. Stopped at the rest stop.
Yep.
When we got out the truck, oh, God, it was cold.
Yes, it was. I was not happy about that. I was liking the 80 degrees for sure. Didn't want to get back into that, but it dropped off fast for sure. So,
Definitely did.
So yeah, we got back. Everything was good. Got ready to watch the race. I got back out and just in time to see the flyover and all that stuff. And go ahead.
No, I was just going to say, I do want to go into it before we get back. While we were down, and I meant to bring this up while we were talking about Volusia. We got down there. Our buddies from SRI Performance were there. Sasha was over there, actually, hanging out at the trailer. Got to talk to her some. And it's cool to see. And that just tells you, everybody, they're there when you need them. Because especially them late models, and that's what you see is you see them late models go out there, tear something up. You see a guy running over to the SRI trailer because you know why they're running the SRI trailer? Because they got what they need, whatever the racer needs. I mean, I've said it before. I'll say it 1,000 times more. They are Walmart for race cars. It's just what they are. And they're there at the tracks. These guys are running and need parts, pieces, fasteners, whatever. They're there. I think they even bring some sheet. Well, they had the stock car steel trailer with them, too. So, they need sheet metal and stuff while they're there. They got that, too. Got plenty of Draco springs on display. So, whatever you need, they got it. Awesome to see. Awesome to see. And, guys, just to let y'all know, you guys putting together race cars for this race season. If you go online to SRI Performance right now, you can still use our promo code, which is CBONE10. That is C as in
bone.
No, C as in chicken.
Oh yeah, see, you got me off guard again.
Oh, there he goes again. C as in
chicken.
BONE.
You got to warn me next time.
All right, here we go again. It is in C as in
chicken.
BONE 10. Put that in the promo code area when you go to checkout. Get you 10% off from SRI Performance. And go get you some parts today. Put that car back together. Also, I want to thank Earl Ramey Racing Engines, and that gets to some dirt car stuff because, he got plenty of dirt car motors out there. Especially the crate motor stuff, guys. All you crate guys, you need someone that is certified to blueprint these motors, put them back together, and it be a legal seal to put them together. Earl Ramey is your guy. He put together some of the best motors that you will see. You get a motor from him, you don't have to worry about it. I've seen guys pull a crate motor out. It has stuck valves, broke rings, stuff from the factory. I mean, that's part of it. They pump out some of them. That's part of it. You get one from Earl Ramey, you don't have to worry about that. One of the best you will see out there. So y'all go check out Earl Ramey Racing Engines. Also, if you want to really fine tune your car, power wise, you make sure to schedule you some time at Earl Ramey Racing Engines to get on the dyno, the chassis dyno. Pull your car right on it. There's more. A lot of people don't realize it, but there's a lot more that gets that horsepower to the wheels in a race car. You got stuff going through the clutch, transmission, all back through the driveline, in the rear end. You can try, just different stuff, different setups, different combinations there, and see what gets the best horsepower and torque numbers to the rear wheels. So y'all go check all them out and schedule it your time today. So anyway, let's get back to Sunday. Once we got back and didn't get to see some NASCAR racing start back up. I guess it is officially a new racing season.
Oh yeah, it's in here now. We all in it now. When I guess they supposedly started. Supposedly, so.
Well, I guess that's what kind of everybody goes off of for some reason.
Oh yeah, for sure. Everything kind of goes off of that with Speedweeks and everything. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, got back, got unpacked real quick, got situated. I was wore out from this weekend. I mean, this whole week, really, the past week, it kind of tired me out. A lot of moving and going and driving back. That nasty weather I was tired. So I got hurried up, got done, got sat down. Got me some lunch or some dinner, whatever it was at that point.
Lupper.
Yeah. Sat down, got ready to watch the race, and in 14 laps is raining.
Well, wrecking.
Well, it was
what started that.
First, but
yeah.
the wrecking could have continued to race.
Yeah.
But the rain, or the lightning actually, kind of held us off there for 6 hours.
5.5 hours, I think. Yeah, something like
Yeah,
that.
Jesus. But yeah, I mean, start with, that big wreck at start.
Why?
No sense in it.
That's just like Derek's race, just like the ARCA race. Why?
Well, I'll give them a little bit of gratitude because they didn't do it in the corner. But still, no, don't dadgummit, man. It's 20 laps or 14 laps into the race.
I mean, I understand that they're going for stage points now. I understand that.
They're still
but you're
40 laps away from that.
Exactly.
45 laps, 50 laps away from that, whatever it was.
On lap 60, so 55 laps.
It's ridiculous. Yeah. It is ridiculous. These guys are pushing this hard, knowing that they can't do it. That's what makes it so bad to me.
I don't care.
If it was a new body and I knew this and I knew that and whatever, okay, first couple times I get it. You're learning, whatever. It has been the same way for Lord knows how long, bud.
Yeah.
I know.
I will say, and I think this is kind of when it has started more, and it's not helping anymore. Now what did Junior call it? A huge ass spoiler they got on this thing. Now, granted, the top of it is Lexan, so you can somewhat see through it, but it's a very distorted view through it. It's not like you can just. It ain't like clear glass. I mean,
well, no,
but I think. That just saying that, just giving them the benefit of the doubt. Kyle Busch was pushing Christopher Bell as he should. I mean, that's what you do down the straightaways there. That's the only way you can run to an extent. I mean, I still say you could have backed off.
15 laps into the race.
I agree, but he was pushing him for whatever reason. Eric Almirola, they got a huge run on him, and it just run over him.
Yep.
And Christopher Bell, because they showed the throttle traces, Christopher Bell was off the gas. He was off the gas, on the brake even. And the car, just because the whole line of, there's 20 cars behind him pushing him into him.
Oh, yeah, there's nothing he can do about it. And that's what I'm saying is I think it's the whole field. Y'all just chill out.
Oh, yeah.
Just chill out. There's no sense
Leave a gap.
in it.
Leave a gap for a little while. Chill.
I mean, well, once they single filed out after that restart, after the rain and all, they restarted, they single filed. Now it's boring. 100% is boring.
Yeah.
But they sat there and rode, single file, half throttle. I watched Austin Dillon's throttle traces, half throttle. I mean, he wasn't pushing crazy, going full. He was just riding. And I mean, 15 laps into the race. Now, come on, man. I mean, good Lord. But I'm all for racing. 2 wide, race.
Yeah.
3 wide, whatever, race. But just, he's supposed to be the best drivers, period. Nah, I don't. It's crazy to me that they let all this stuff happen and continue. But at the same time, I mean, the runs that these people are getting, I don't think they realize it before it's too late. I mean, dude, some of them runs look like they were 30 mile an hour faster.
No, I mean, some of them they showed, they were literally 8-10 miles faster.
I mean, it's unbelievable how much.
Yeah.
And, okay. Joey Logano is probably the biggest blocker, I will say.
He is.
And he has caused
ridiculous.
a pile of wrecks over the years. But like he said, that's what you have to do.
If he didn't do it, there's absolutely no chance of him winning. If he does do it and wrecks, then
we saw
he still didn't win. So
a prime example is if Kyle Busch going for that stage 1, I don't remember the other stuff else, but stage 1 ending, He was running, I think, second. And instead of him pulling up to block that momentum coming, he didn't. Well, I think he ended up from the center of the back straightaway to where they took the green and white checkered.
Yeah.
I think he lost 15, 16 something spots.
Yeah. Well, Denny kind of messed him up there. Denny went to go low with him.
Oh yeah, he did for sure. But that's just a point to say.
Yeah.
I mean, if Joey had not had blocked at the end of this race or any of the races,
he'd have been the last car on the lead lap.
He'd have been the last car on the lead lap from the back of the back straightaway, or from the center of the back straightaway to the start finish line.
Yep.
So that right there to me is what causes these drivers to drive like they are and block, and but it'd be very hard to judge. I mean, people listening, y'all think about it. Think about you running 80 mile an hour on the interstate in the fast lane, and you get right up to somebody that's running 65 and they pull right over in front of you.
Oh yeah.
There's no way you can stop that fast.
Especially if, for whatever reason, say you had a tractor trailer truck literally
right
pushing you.
There's no way you can stop. There's no possible way. So, it's, I think it's just plate racing or super speedway racing, whatever. A lot of these drivers have come to hate it. But I think it's because of what the car they've been dealt, man. It's just so, it's either ride single file, a half a car length to a car length in between every car and just ride, or it's wrecking. That's the only, there's nothing in between there.
That's two options.
That is it.
That's why I told you yesterday. I said they ought to make it a daggone 25, 30 lap race.
They
should.
It done. But to me, it's not. Dude, if I was Rick Hendrick, I wouldn't even show up. Because you're throwing away $1 million, whatever those cars cost.
Almost let your cars be starting park cars.
Why wouldn't
get out there, get you starting money and starting points and pull in. Yeah,
and put them up, because I mean that's $1 million probably. I don't know what it costs for a car.
Last
now.
I heard, Cup cars are almost $400,000.
Okay, $400,000. You got 4 cars. That's $1.2 million. Just a car. That's not talking about your team and your this and your prep and your this and you getting down there.
4 cars, that's $1.6 million.
Okay, I'm sorry. Yeah, see if you're paying attention. So you got probably $2 million involved or more, way more probably.
Especially being that you tore up cars in the
Bush
duels
Clash.
and in the
in the duels
and in the Clash. And
really, what is the purpose? I don't.
Well, that was just like me and you were talking the other night. William Byron and Alex Bowman. If I qualify on pole for that, I know they're going out there for their sponsors just to get them TV time. I understand that. But from a racer standpoint, they are locked on the pole as long as they do not
go to a backup
car. Well, guess what happened to William Byron?
Yeah.
In his dual race. Got wrecked, had to go to a backup car. Now, granted, that meant absolutely nothing in that race.
Well, that was his primary. That was probably his better car.
But that's what I'm saying. But I mean, it's just,
and that's $400,000.
Exactly. There. I mean, you're just spending money. I'm like, why don't you just park those cars? You're automatically on the front row. Park them. Let everybody else behind them run.
Well, if they, I don't know. They say what they want, and that's a whole other thing for another episode. But if NASCAR or whatever would say, all right, every driver, every team, you get 2 race cars. That's all you get.
Yep.
That's all you get. And you're going to see a lot of people, these people take things a lot different on the racetrack. They're going to treat their cars better. They're going to act like it means something to them. They're going to act like it, if they reckon it comes out of their pocket, it's going to start meaning more then. But when you got endless supply of money to just keep throwing these $400,000 race cars,
well, I mean, go to Hendrick Motorsport, look in the shop. They'll let you overlook the shop there.
Oh yeah,
there's daggone 40 cars sitting out there.
I mean,
between the 2 shops.
Yeah, so why care?
They don't. They say put it to the front at all cost.
It just, I don't know. I mean, I honestly, I get to where, I mean, honestly, the ARCA race and the ARCA car seems to put on a little better racing.
Oh, it did. It definitely did.
To me than that Cup car, because it doesn't the runs that the Cup car gets just to
It's
me
too
is
much.
it's ridiculous. I mean, you can't race, you can't judge, you can't do anything.
That giant spoiler is causing them to get ridiculous runs.
Yep.
That they don't need. I mean, it's too much differential in speed.
Right.
Whereas the ARCA car, you see somebody fall out there, and there was a differential. They still get past. Don't get me wrong, but it wouldn't.
Oh, of course. I mean, but you don't you're not having.
You're talking 4 or 5 mile an hour as opposed to 10, 12 miles an hour.
Yeah, it's unreal. So anyway, they got back green there. Rode for a long time. I fell asleep and I woke up and they were riding on the top, just riding. I think Denny Hammond led about half the race, just riding.
Yeah.
Wasn't much to it. And then into the race,
some pit strategy came in.
Okay, it did. I fell asleep for that part.
Denny, Bubba, and Kyle decided to pit together. Nobody else pitted. Well, they weren't lined up on the track. So when they came out, there was 15, 20 car lengths between each of them.
Oh, the lead pack and them.
No. Between each of them, Denny,
oh, Jesus.
Denny, Bubba, and Kyle.
Ooh.
One was, halfway down the back straightaway. The other was coming out of turn 2. So they were not even drafting together.
Boy.
And well, the pack come up. They pitted too. Well, like the next lap, the rest of the pack pitted. So when they come out, they were just all in line, and it wasn't no time. They just blew by them and put them at the back of the pack. That's why Denny couldn't ever get back up there, because once they fell back in line, they were all the way at the back, and the line was at the top. That's when they had single filed out. They moved to the top, and they could not make anything work on the bottom. I mean, They just could not get any. It's really weird because I guess actually the cars have gotten too fast almost. We were looking at that the other day. They had some really high single car speeds.
Yep.
And so handling has come back in at Daytona, kind of like it was before they paved it the last time. So handling has come back in. So them cars would get on the bottom. And especially once they got in the pack in a line, either the guy behind's going to be tight or the guy in front's going to be loose, and they just could not get any momentum rolling on the bottom. So that's why they all lined up around the top, and they just could not make a line work on the bottom.
No, definitely could not. And throughout the race, I even noticed, Chase Elliott would try. He'd go down there and he'd try, and you just fall right back. Joe Logano try and fall right back. Just constantly. I don't know. I mean, it was not an exciting race. There ain't nothing about it.
Not.
Unless somebody wants to watch people get wrecked and stuff, there's nothing to it to me. Because they, right there towards the end, or at the end, blocking again.
Yeah.
And took out pretty much the whole field. Could have really hurt some people, really close to hurting some people.
I think it run Kyle Busch's bill, so
yeah,
took him a while to get out of that car.
Yeah, that's not only is it not a good, it doesn't put on good racing. It's just incredible. And I know we ain't hurt nobody at a plate track in a long time.
Thank God.
I think the last person that really got hurt, and I may be wrong, but I know Ryan Newman, he got shook up. I mean, yeah, but he didn't get hurt. He got hurt. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah,
but,
he did.
I mean, I know Kyle Busch, he broke his legs.
Yep.
Whatever. But it's going to come up a time soon. They keep going like they're going. Somebody's going to really get hurt.
Well, it could have been really bad last night. Keselowski got above the wall, hit the fence, hit a big old I-beam that was actually in the fence, and that could have been pretty bad. Fortunately, it wasn't. It just caught the back of the car, kind of bounced off and kept going. But yeah, that was a big old fire. Fortunately, it exploded the fuel cell.
Oh yeah,
out of
Brad's
car, and fortunately, all the fuel just kind of burned up before the cars stopped, because cars would have stopped in the middle of a bunch of fuel that was burning. That could have been really bad.
Yeah.
Fortunately, they had enough forward momentum to keep going out of the fire. But they showed Bubba's in-car that his car was like fully engulfed in flames. They slowed it down. Dude, it was crazy.
Really?
Oh, yeah. It just, all you see is just fire. That's all you can see, fire.
Wow.
It was, second, but.
Oh, yeah. That's
still.
crazy. Yeah, definitely crazy. So, anyway, hats off to old Michael McDowell for bringing home the win there, man. That's pretty crazy.
Yeah, number 34, Love's Travel Stop. Ford, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah, Ford. Congratulations to
Front Row Motorsports.
Front Row Motorsports for pulling one out. And people can say what they want. Yes, Super Speedway racing is Super Speedway racing, but I don't care what race you want to go back and look at. Michael McDowell is always a contender at Super Speedways.
Always.
So it was not a fluke for him to win this race. Regardless of what anybody says, this was no fluke. He got up there and put himself in position to earn this win. And he's been in there multiple times for that. So congratulations to him. And in my opinion, the wreck, I've seen some people saying the wreck was his fault. Not in my opinion at all.
In my opinion, it's Joey Logano's fault for blocking. But at the same time,
what is his other option? Yeah,
right.
I mean,
that's what the car is allowing or making them do. So it's the same way it was. Everybody was blaming Austin Dillon on the Eric Almirola wreck, whatever. That was the same way.
Yeah.
As is every other one that's been going on for the last 4 or 5 years. So
just like last year with Ryan Newman and
Ryan Blaney. Yeah.
Ryan Blaney and Denny Hamlin and all that up there.
Yeah.
I mean, same
thing.
deal.
It's blocking. It's blocking. And, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows what to do to fix that? But maybe this new car will make for better Super Speedway racing. I hope so, because people feed off of it and love Super Speedway racing. I mean, when I was a little boy, I used to love watching because of the big wrecks, the big one. He's always waiting for the big one. Now I don't like to see that.
No, I want to see him go there and race.
Because I understand the aspect of racing and plate racing. And
yeah, I like watching. Now, I do like watching the shuffling.
Oh, I love
when all of a sudden you see a bunch of cars shuffling in and out and everything. And I know they always can produce a wreck. I mean, accidents happen. You got, especially when they're 4-wide, stuff like that. I love seeing that racing. Now, like I said, I know that can produce a wreck. But I don't ever like to see the wreck that it produces.
No, I hate to see that like that for sure. But we'll see what happens. But glad the year's kicked off and get started now. The Cup guys and all them going to be
hanging out where they're at.
Hanging out where they're at, pretty much. So the race number 2 this year, like we talked about last week, I think it was, instead of being at California, they're going to be at Daytona Road Course this week coming. And the next week, they're going to be in Homestead, I think. So they're going to be in Florida for a while.
Yeah, it's pretty wild there. It's an odd start to a year.
Yeah, it definitely is.
Compared to what it used to be. I mean, logistically, it's probably the smartest thing to do.
Yep. Yeah, definitely. So, with the Busch Clash being last Tuesday night, a lot of these guys got a lot of practice and prep for this race coming up.
I want to go see if they put some turtles or something on that inside chicane area on the backstretch.
I feel sure they will.
To keep the dirt from being.
I just don't know how sports cars and stuff can go run 24 hours there and not have zero problem. But you put some Cup cars out there for a little bit and then it's a mud pit.
Because they all taking shortcuts. They want to run across the grass and everything.
Well, then they need to run through the dirt that they throw up on the asphalt.
That's what I say. Y'all don't want to run through it. Don't whine about it.
I wouldn't whine about it. I mean, I wouldn't move it. I wouldn't go out there and throw a caution for sure to blow the track off.
No.
Like we said earlier, they're supposed to be the best drivers, period, and they can't drive through it.
I figured they'll go put some of them turtles on the inside. That way they can't Make it to the grass.
I agree with you. They probably will, but I wish they wouldn't. I wish they'd make it a little challenging for them.
No, they can't. They don't like challenges.
But anyway.
So yeah, Daytona coming up next week again. Daytona take 2.
Yeah, take 2.
They'll at least have 3 races this year.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's cool to see. Also coming up, we'll talk about some future races here. This Saturday, Lord willing, and the creek quits rising. Lakeview Motor Speedway, right down the road from us here, will be hosting the Dryden Extreme Series. Just saw that gonna have some heavy hitters in this one. Our buddy Strickler, Kyle Strickler's gonna be over there. Stuart Friesen announced he's gonna be over there. A lot of guys coming to this one. I'm not sure who all else.
I can bet you probably Brandon Overton will be there, and that's going to be tough. Maybe, I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, he normally likes running around this area, so it's possible. But it's also possible a lot of them guys getting off Florida.
Yeah, they might be taking a little time off.
And trying to get all the stuff back together. So we'll see. There's supposed to be some more rain in the forecast, and that track does not do well with a lot of rain. It looks like a pond on the infield if it gets too much rain. So cross your fingers that they get it in. Then on Sunday they will be moving to Cherokee Speedway up in Gaffney, South Carolina. Then I told my wife yesterday I may take off and head to that.
Might go to Gaffney.
I might. Me and Landon might ride up there and go check it out. It's a good little ride, but
yeah, it is. But you ain't got to work on Monday, so you'll be good.
I don't. So, you know. So, speaking of Lakeview, I want to throw this out there real fast. There's a cool little channel on YouTube. I want to plug in here real quick. They actually put a sticker on our car, on their car for us. Go check out Chuck D FPV. FPV is in first person view. Chuck D FPV on YouTube. He puts up some cool content. Mostly they race mostly at Lakeview, but he's got an awesome drone. He flies around there with GoPros on it and stuff. Get some awesome track footage. Also, what's really cool about it that I like is they're a really small team. Really, really, really small late model team that runs over there. It showed they kind of put their at house in shop footage on there. Shows you the everyday grind that, you know, down home racers really go through to get to the track to do what they love to do. So go check out Chuck D FPV on YouTube. You'll enjoy it. What else we got this week, Sterling? Is that about it?
Yes, sir. I think that's about it. We've rambled on a while here, but
yeah, it's been a long show. I knew it would be this week.
We had a lot of stuff going on for sure, but definitely want to thank Derek again for coming on with us and hanging out again. And I know he's busy, got a lot going on, a lot of hopefully good things coming up for him in the future. Looking forward to hearing all about it, and hopefully he can get something continuing on for his 2021 season.
Yep, we do definitely. So appreciate him, and he told us, and fortunately he was able to jump on here for a few minutes with us tonight. He had a bunch of stuff to do, but he really wanted to get on here and thank everybody for watching him and, you know, all that stuff and supporting him. So we're going to get him back on here real soon and let him be the typical part-time co-host again.
Yeah.
Here eventually. And but want to thank SRI Performance, as always, Stock Car Steel and Aluminum, Draco Springs, Earl Ramey Racing Engines, RK Motorsports Consulting, for sure, Randy King, and somehow we missed Randy at Evolution.
Well, I don't know.
My phone quit working.
Yeah, mine wouldn't work over there hardly either.
I don't know what was going on. I texted him, told him we were on the way to track. So I go into track, my phone, and I'm like, I tried text, won't do nothing. Try to call, I cut it off, cut back on, won't do crap. So anyway, we walked around, looking for him, couldn't ever find him. So we just completely missed Randy down at Evolution. But it happens. Anyway, but appreciate him as always. Also, want to thank Ford Bite Apparel. Y'all go check them out. They sent us some cool stuff while we were down there too. They got them a sprint car made up on iRacing now with the wrap that they got on their micro sprint. So got Chicken Bone Alley on their iRacing ride even. So
Sweet.
It looks pretty cool. Also want to thank Checkered, the race hub. Chris from Checkered was actually down Daytona. That was another one tried to get a hold of, and we kept missing each other somehow. I don't know what happened there. There's a lot of people, short amount of time.
Yeah, it's hard to see everybody, that's for sure.
We're going to have to meet up with everybody one day, eventually. RMAX Solutions, want to thank them coming on. If y'all need any products in the fabrication industry, far as machine-wise, that includes service, sales, parts, anything like that you need, check out RMAX Solutions. They can help you out there. So, anyway, well, about out of breath for this week.
I'm about to go eat some barbecue chicken.
It smells good. I'm getting hungry and hungry sitting up here. I ain't gonna lie to you.
I'm telling you what, man, things gonna be good too.
Well, cool deal, guys. Well, go check out some racing wherever you can this week. Be watching us. We'll put up anything that we see coming up. And we appreciate y'all listening as always. And I reckon we will check y'all out again next week.
Later.